Hi, thanks for stopping by. I'm Jason Ramsey with California Flooring Service, and there seems to be a little bit of confusion out there amongst the public as to the different types of wood flooring there is. There's solid wood flooring, engineered, and laminate predominantly. And I'd like to talk a little bit today about what the benefits are, where you can put them, and a little bit of what differentiates them. So basically, solid wood flooring is going to be more characteristic, if you were to look at the profile, obviously, of solid all the way through. Solid wood floor has to be nailed down. More indicative of Midwest and back east, where the subfloors in the house are mainly wood subfloor, so these can be nailed right down. And usually the basements in the Midwest and back east are concrete, where they can put down an engineered wood floor, which we'll get to, or they usually glue down a carpet or something, or put tile. But we live out here in California, where most of the subfloor is concrete. And so what we have to put out here would basically be an engineered wood floor. And the way you can tell an engineered wood floor is going to be, if you look at the cross ply of it, it's going to be made of usually a rubber wood or a birch. And they cross the layers back and forth and glue them together. And then the top layer, which is your veneer or your superficial layer, is usually from 1 millimeter to up to about 4, even I've seen up to 5 millimeter, okay? And that's going to be your species, whether it's walnut, hickory, maple, oak, ash, or whatever. So you're still getting that species of wood floor. It's just that it's going to be more dimensionally stable and correct, so that it can contract and expand through the different seasons. Whereas solid wood floor, it doesn't contract and expand like engineered, okay? So that's why you cannot install this onto concrete. You can't glue it down, contrary to what some contractors or even manufacturers will say, because it just does not perform the same. And again, it has to be nailed down, and so you can't nail it down to concrete. You could put a wood subfloor over concrete, which is also known as a sleeper, and then you can nail that in after you put a vapor barrier over that. So what we do here in California is we'll put a moisture barrier on your concrete, and then we'll install the engineered wood flooring on top of that so that it can contract and expand accordingly, and so that a company like myself can give you a lifetime labor warranty, and that's really what you want. So solid does not contract and expand like engineered, hence that's why we use engineered in California. Now there are some places, Laguna Beach, San Clemente, LA, that have really old homes and they have wood subfloors, and then these can be installed there. So just so you know those two differences. Now the third one we get into is laminate flooring. And laminate flooring is basically a high-density fiberboard, okay, or HDF. And that's going to be, it's characteristic of, it almost looks like solid, but it's not. It kind of has the same attributes as it, but it gets floated, and we'll get into that. So this is compressed particle board. So laminate, believe it or not, this is a laminate floor, and the industry's come a long way to really simulate the look of wood. It's all of real wood. But basically what laminate is, it's a picture of the wood compressed onto the particle board, okay? And then what happens is this gets floated over your existing floor. So it's kind of nice because if you have some imperfections in the floor, or you don't want to remove the old wood or tile, well, we can go right over that. Now you can't go over carpet, so that has to be removed. But so what we would do is if you had carpet, we would remove the carpet, prep and clean the floor, put down a 3 millimeter foam underlayment, which has a moisture barrier attribute with that as well. And then this just gets clicked into place, and it basically floats over the floor. So when you do walk on it, you will have a little bit of hollow sound because it's not adhered. But then again, it can go over any imperfections that are there. So it's kind of nice. Actually, laminate was designed in Europe through German technology, and really people, when they would move, they would take their flooring with them, kind of like furniture. So a couch or a table or something, they'd take their flooring with them. Well, here we just don't do that, you know. It's just not the norm here in the States. So nonetheless, so you have solid, you have engineered, and you have laminate, okay? And each of them have a different quality and they also have some cons to them. The cons per se to laminate would be that it is a little bit echoey, so if you're walking with high heels or shoes, you can tell that it's not real wood. Some people try to pass that off. Nonetheless, it's economically correct. It's half the price. It's great for the lifestyle of the house if you have, you know, kids going on, rollerblading, skateboarding, dogs, tearing the place up, then, you know, it's ideal because you really can't scratch it, mar it, or fade it. You really have to, you know, deliberately try and do something to damage it. Whereas obviously with engineered or solid wood, it's susceptible to scratches. Beautiful thing though about both those products is you can sand and refinish those. With the solid, you can sand and refinish it up to, you know, the nail heads. So let's say you have a wood subfloor and you install solid wood, or you have it upstairs in your house, you can sand and refinish that as many times as you can up to the nail heads or staple heads. That's why in the Midwest, this material would be great for generations. So they would just put the solid wood floor one time and sand and refinish it for many generations. Here in the U.S., people buy and sell homes pretty quickly, and so, you know, it's not that much of an issue. So people will just usually get engineered, because engineered can be glued down to the concrete. Usually the downstairs of most homes are concrete. So we glue that down, and then to keep the consistency, that's usually what goes on the stairs and on the upstairs. Now with the engineered, you can sand and refinish that as well, as the superficial layer does have, you know, like I say, 1 millimeter to up to 4 millimeter thick. So depending on the thickness of that wear layer or veneer is how many times you can sand and refinish that. And so with engineered wood flooring, it's made with cross layers. It's a little bit more dimensionally stable and correct, and it can contract and expand accordingly through the different seasons. Solid wood flooring, not so much, has to be nailed down, and is characteristic for upstairs houses in California or over a wood subfloor. Laminate flooring can be installed above, below, or at grade level, pretty much anywhere in the house. Excluding really, you know, moisture areas. You wouldn't really want to put it so much in bathrooms or in a laundry area, but you can, okay? So just to touch upon that. Also, with the different styles of wood flooring, we have the hand scraped, we have the distressed, we have the smooth finish. All of those can achieve desired looks, whether you want to go for an old world look, a rustic look, a contemporary style look, a Victorian style look, cottagey, beachy. All these things can be achieved through the different styles of flooring, okay? So with that said, I thank you today for checking out our videos, and watch more on youtube.com/California Flooring.